Good evening and welcome to Paranormal Path Peeps. And tonight I'm speaking to Chris Whitehouse. How are you doing?
Hiya, nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, you spoke to me last year. That was brilliant. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, it's good to be here. Good to have another chat with you.
Yeah, because we did sort of share quite a bit of the same belief systems in a way, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah, I think we have the same outlook, which is always refreshing to find someone straight away. When I met you in Pontefract, I was like, oh yeah, we seem to get on.
I talk a bit. But yeah, so we actually met at Pontefract at the Parameets North. And
mm.
that was such a lovely event, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was good. My first one, and I think I'll go to others because it was
Yeah.
really great. I saw some people, off the telly. That's always exciting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I had some talks, and yeah, I only went on the Sunday, so I only caught the tail end of it, but still had a good time.
Yeah. Did you catch Richard Felix then?
I did, yes,
Oh, well
yeah,
done. Because I
yeah,
actually missed him because I had to get home.
mm,
So yeah, he sort of arrived and I missed his talk, but I've heard it a few times because I used to help out at Derby Jail.
right,
So yeah, I've met Richard quite often. So and yeah, I actually met Richard on Saturday, which was a
yeah,
massive
awesome.
surprise, really.
Yeah,
So
what does he do then in the field? Does he still do tours or something, or his talks, or
yeah, he's doing something, swaddling coat, with a guy called Ian. I'm rubbish at names.
mm,
It's something about paranormal and science, history
right?
and science or something. Hiya, hope you well. Conjure Quest, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, so he's doing, he sort of goes around, sort of having meals, doing talks, things like that.
Yeah,
He also like does events at Derby Jail, so there are public events where he may not be there, but then there's like other ones which teams hire out, and that they ask him to come along to speak, really.
yeah.
But yeah, it was shock, a very pleasant surprise. Yeah, it. You know what? I am terrible. Ian Griffiths. I'm shocking, Andy. Thank you so much. Yeah, but yeah, Ian Griffiths. I think he's got a few tickets left. So if you check out Ian Griffiths Medium, then he is running something in Swaddling Coat direction with Richard Felix. Hiya, Mason. Thank you.
Hello, Mason.
I try and bring sort of different people along for a chat. Thanks, Mason, for listening. Yeah, so it was very nice. I actually met up with three other people who used to work at the jail. So it was quite interesting. Like we're all together, and with us knowing the place, it was nice that some of the regular spirits came through.
Right.
So like they're kind of waiting for you to come back because you sort of have a relationship with them. Oddly
Mhm.
enough, do you? If you had a place where you've gone back to?
Definitely, yes, because an old workplace we had for nearly a decade,
Wow.
and as you say, we learnt that they knew we were coming, and then when we'd go to even private houses, we'd often start off with, "Did you know we were coming already?" And
Yes.
they'd say yes, so they're eager to go, eager to talk.
I found
Um,
that out as well. Like they know in advance, and it is really odd.
mm,
And I had a really odd interaction with it's just a box covered in wax, and it
okay,
sort of knew when I was going back. So whatever was with it, it used to I used to have a click in my ear,
mm,
and think I didn't know at first what it was, but then I realised that I get a click in my ear, one click, I'd acknowledge it, it would go. And basically that occurred like 1 to 2 weeks before I'd returned to Hunter's Antiques.
mm,
And then one week I was like going to Hunter's Antiques, thought, oh, it's not clicked. And it
yeah.
got cancelled. Then
Oh,
another
really?
week I was there, my day in business, and it clicked. It's like, what? I'm not going. And I got invited.
Mm,
And it knew when I didn't even know. Hi
yeah.
Carl, hey, you alright? And
Hello.
it is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, like, there's a lot of people I know who are mediums and the good mediums. And they'll actually have spirits sort of going to them, waking them up in the middle of the night and going, hello. And then, like, when the sort of carry on with the investigation, they actually find out that that person is at the investigation at that
Mm.
location.
Yeah.
And, they kind of are waiting for you. And
Mm.
it is strange, isn't it? It really is.
I think they're like eager puppies a lot of the time. When you go to a new location, they're just desperate to, they know what you do and think, oh, great, we're going to get to actually talk to somebody for a change rather than be
Yeah.
ignored.
Especially, like, if you're compassionate as well, because I am. I
Mm.
actually care, you
Mm.
know? I do care. I hear the stories. Hiya. Hope you well. And I find, like, the ones who come through to me are the ones with the right sad stories
Mm.
because they know I'd listen to them and they know. Sometimes, like with us, you just want to talk to somebody, don't you?
Yeah.
So whether that's the same with them, obviously we'll never know. But
And I
it's
think
there,
it's
isn't it?
I think they also know your intentions. I mean, they see it more than you just coming. Often I'll say, search my intentions, please come towards us, trust us. We're here to communicate with respect. And I think it goes
Yeah,
a long way. The spirits say, it's because you're respectful that we come and talk to you. So that's
yeah.
good, isn't it? It's good.
But then again, like we'd know, we instantly know from a person if we like them or not, don't we?
Yeah.
Usually, our first impression is it, isn't it?
Yes.
So you've got that, haven't you? So
Mm.
it's all there.
Mm.
And yeah, it is so intriguing. We don't really know how it works. We've just got to guess, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah. You just take I always call it the data points. Each investigation either confirms a belief, teaches you something new, or says, no, no, you're wrong about that. I remember watching
Yes,
like Most
you're
Haunted over
right.
the years, and it was like ghosts don't like the light, they're scared of the light, and they're like, no, we're not. So we've done investigations in the day, and it works just as fine. Yeah, you don't see dark shadows walking around, but the Ouija board works just as well.
Yeah, that's right. And we don't know anything, and we do try and just work things out any way we can, don't we?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's it. And it's just so fascinating.
Mm.
It really is. Um, so you were great on the Pendle Paranormal podcast.
Oh, you listen to that? Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Craig
So
over there, he's had me on a few times. I do like talking to Craig.
it's
Um,
brilliant.
yeah,
I've
I
not
like
really had
talking to him.
much to do with him. I do follow the Pendle
You
group,
should you
but
should get him on. He's got loads of stories. I think he's actually got something that he's not aware of. When you read his books, the things he's seen and witnessed, it's like this is like you're a magnet for them, you know.
oh wow,
But I don't think he appreciates that.
I don't know. You you kind of I'm not sure because I kind of feel that I'm sent projects.
Mm,
I sort of get something like this interaction with that red wax box I mentioned, and then I've got a really strange past life,
yeah.
and a lot of the paranormal experiences are actually tied to that. But I
Mm,
didn't know that at the time. It's only afterwards you actually realise. And
yeah.
so
So
we've got.
you are somewhat a sensitive or a medium in some fashion.
I've been doing I've been doing development for about eight plus years. So you can open up. Anybody can do it. It's all about opening up because I thought it was rubbish. I really
Okay.
did.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in mediumship. I don't go to a medium at that time either because I didn't want to go to a medium and suddenly the face drop and go, "You're going to die next week." I
Mhm.
don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But I was scared in a way of seeing a medium. But then the ones I'd seen, sorry.
You all right? Yeah, I've been to mediums and been to like trance meditations early on and didn't think there was anything in it, you know. But you never know. She's got a bad cough, by the way. So, but I've always thought that mediums, you couldn't learn it. You couldn't learn a psychic ability, but it seems like I'm wrong. with that. Um, but yeah, you seem to have gone and done some educating and opened yourself up, so maybe it's possible.
Sorry about that, everyone.
You're right.
I've got a chest infection trying to start.
So you think that you've improved your sensitivity over 8 years of training, um, and putting the work in.
Yeah, I do. It, sorry, sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, um, I have opened up. I do lessons with Jay actually, who's watching.
All right, someone who's watching, right?
Yeah,
So they're a medium, and what would that entail then?
yeah. Well, Jay's learning like I am with Barry John.
Right. Yeah. So, but what? When you say you've learnt to like open up, is it like me? Is it like meditation?
Yeah, partly. Yeah, it can be sort of the meditation side of things.
Mm.
Like a lot of the developments sort of say, it's handy to do the meditations
Mm.
because then you sort of are basically opening your sort of levels up really speak to spirit.
Yeah.
So it is fascinating.
Mm.
Like Jason did really well.
So is it like giving readings and things as well?
Yeah,
Is that what comes from it?
yeah. It is. Yeah, you give readings. That's a lot of what you do with the development. You could give readings. You could do psychometry. You could see pictures, see
Yeah.
what you get from the pictures. See, you could use tarot cards. Different. You try
Mhm.
different methods, the
Yeah.
ribbons, everything else.
Mm. Yeah, I've done tarot card readings. I'm not at all psychic, as anybody sort of else on a non-trying level. So I just think I'm completely baseline flat. So I did tarot card readings to try and see how well I did, just looking at my writings of each card from a book, and thinking, well, let's just see how somebody who isn't psychic at all can do it with my
Yeah,
friends, team, and etc. I invited some strangers through my ghost page to come and do it, and they all said, "Yeah, you did pretty well." I mean, so is there something in the card readings, the way that they've already been, um, explained, or is there something else at hand? Do spirits put it in your head? I don't really know, but it was interesting that a flat reading was still a good reading,
yeah,
as an experiment.
yeah. It is intriguing because you've got a deck of cards and you pick one out, and then somehow it relates to you. But then, yeah, if you try and tie it into somebody else, could they actually take it as related to them as well?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I used to do that when you have platform mediums on. You see them on stage, and I'd try and take a message. You wouldn't say it, but you'd listen to what they were saying to
yes,
think, well, are these general? Can you take what they are saying? Can you tie it to something in your life? How general are they in what they're saying?
yeah.
Like some words are kind of general, aren't they? Oh,
Sure, well, grandma,
I've got an
yeah,
old
yeah,
male with grey hair.
mm,
Oh yeah, that's me.
yeah. And so you're going to be able to basically improve your skills to do that to somebody. Is that what you think?
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. You're
It's
struggling
rather
through.
difficult. Yeah. So yeah, I can give readings.
Mm,
So you get the card, and then but I then get more.
mm. Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I've not tried it. I've done some drum meditation and can't think what else it was, but I think I'm just not that open to it, you know. But I feel like I've got more of a connection with spirit, because we have kind of spirit friends, like we say. We have ones, the same ones that come around and could be fooling ourselves. But where it gets interesting for me is when we get information that we couldn't have just invented because it's spot on. You know, when you find out a news article or someone else, like especially when you get a spirit that says, rather than saying a street name, they'll call it Pan Alley, and you're looking for Pan Alley on the
Oh,
old
right, yeah.
charts, and it turns out it's a really local phrase because the street, on a map it looks like a pan, and they're in the handle part, and that's like, oh, well, we didn't know that. Where's that? If we're making it up, how are we spot on? Is there a group telepathy that comes into it, and it's not spirit? But I just, I just think it's spirit for now, unless someone proves me,
Yeah.
wrong.
It is totally fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah,
We just go out and do this. And, like the thing is about mediumship, it's like what pops into your head. You
yeah,
get a name and a date, like Derby Dale, I was there. So I was doing human pendulum. I
mm,
had a date just like that. Boom, I said it. And it went to yes. Okay. Were they
mm,
doing it right? Was it right? And the guy running the event just looked at me, got out. But
mm,
it just popped in my head. And, you just say what you get, don't you?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you do get an image in your head, but that's what worries me. That I can walk into a room and say, I feel like there's something here watching us, stood back, and it's a man. I mean, that's in my head, but that's not mediumistic. That's just
It could
me.
be.
But if we
That's
ask
the
a Ouija
problem.
board and it's like the Ouija board says, "Oh no, there's only one woman here," I'm like, well, there you go.
Not necessarily. Because to say that what they say with mediumship is that everybody works from different levels.
Yeah,
So, you might be working on that level. Somebody out, whoever's doing the board, could be working on a different level. So, or there could be more than one spirit in the room.
yeah, that's the get out, isn't it? It
So it's really, uh, we really don't know.
No, we
It's
don't
just
know.
that's why it's so fascinating, isn't it?
Mm, yeah, but you generally don't get answers that qualify later. You can go into a Ouija board session and have names, dates, and it's like, yeah, you get some. Anna lived here, 1942. She had 3 kids, and all these names, but
Yeah,
there's nowhere to actually qualify it afterwards. It's like, well, I don't take your word for it. Sounded great at the time,
yeah.
and so
Well,
when we
this
do
is
get a chance, it's like, oh yeah, that I found it in writing. That's correct, and that means the world.
yeah. It is great to get that validation, but it's so hard because
It's
some
hard.
of the information I've got from papers, like Woollerton Hall, it is something like so horrible. I got
Mm,
this information on, but it won't be in any history books.
no.
But it would fit in with how the culture was at the time,
Mm,
how the gentry operated. And I mentioned what I got to my friend, and she says, "Yeah, that used to happen in those days."
yeah.
But I didn't even realise. So how did I come up with that story?
Mm, yeah.
And it's just, but yeah. So how do you like investigating then? Oh gosh, yeah, it is because I'm not very good on boards. To be fair, they don't usually, the planchette doesn't move with me. And as for the dowsing rods, that's a difficult one. Could do pendulums, but yeah, dowsing rods are hard for me. Certainly a knack.
Yeah, I don't hold any sway with dowsing rods. Pendulums we've had some good work with, but Ouija boards is my main, always has been my main thing,
Yeah.
because a medium means somebody else is giving me the information, but that's my chance to allegedly talk directly to a spirit. That's the closest to being a medium I'm going to get. Or
No,
talking.
I think really with training you can do it.
Hmm,
Seriously. If there is like any development classes near you, or if there's one on Zoom or something like that, just try one or two
Yeah.
and just see how you feel and you see what information you get through.
Mm.
Because with these lessons, like obviously each sort of medium who runs these lessons to do it differently. They might put you with another person to get the information, and then what happens if you get their granny's name
Oh,
or
yeah, that would
type
be
of
cool.
download light?
That would be cool. Yeah.
So, and you probably can, but
Mm.
your head is going, no, I can't do this,
Yeah. Yeah.
which then stops you from being open, in
I
my
kind
eyes.
of. I wouldn't want to be a medium. I wouldn't want to be one of these people that is born being a medium. I've always respect people who come out and say they're a medium because you get so much shit off all the non-believers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like who would ask for that? Not me, because you can't prove it, can you?
we can't
Um,
prove anything we do, though, can we?
no, but I think they get it the worst. So I do feel if you're you think you're a proper medium and can do it, I feel sorry for them, and I wouldn't want to swap places. I'd rather be
No,
called,
bless you.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You see, I'm more interested. It's okay having flashing light, but then you've got to think of the question to make it flash.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, it's all very well just sitting there. Like, I went to a public event and there's this guy who was the host. He was great at what he was doing, but it's like sort of a glass situation, a yes or no. So basically, he wanted to know what year the spirit had passed in. And he was doing like, oh, wow, just talking about you, mate. Well, mediums.
oh,
But
Barry's
yeah,
gone. Hey.
I do mediumship with Barry, so mentioned that. But yeah, you totally made me lose my track now. But you could just get the information though.
Mm,
And whereas this guy, and he was on the board, and it's like, yeah, 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 and he said, "What year is it?" He went 1901, 1902, 1903. I said 1954, and it went, yeah.
mm.
Then he said something else. Thought, oh, sod this.
The problem
So,
is when they say yes, that's I can say, "Are you wearing a red dress?" and it says yes. And I've noticed that the team later on would say, "Well, it said it was wearing a red dress," and I'd say, "No, no, it didn't. It just said yes. You said it was
I
wearing a
get
red
you. Yeah,
dress." Do you know what I mean? It's who's putting the information out there. So I generally, I got my team to learn to not put the question and the answers rather up front. It'd be like,
yeah.
oh, we'd go multiple choice for long enough,
Oh,
rather than
yeah,
saying, "Did
yeah.
my
You've got
gran
that.
used to drive or whatever?" So yeah, and
But I,
and
I
go on.
found a LinkedIn though.
Yeah,
So the
right, okay,
questions I was getting were
mm,
going to have yes answers.
yeah,
So I was given the information so that then it went yes.
mhm,
So to test the person using the board or the dowsing rods, I'd throw something wrong in,
correct,
which I
yeah,
knew was wrong. So
yes,
I might have got an image of something, but instead I changed it. And then it went to no. And that helped to validate the people
yeah,
on on the dowsing rods or whatever they were using
mm.
to what I thought I was connecting to or with.
Yeah. I've had that before where I've tricked my team by pretending I've had something come into my head
Yeah,
because it was always saying yes, yes, whatever they said I was yes. I said, "Oh wait, are you wearing a red dress?" That's why a red dress came to mind.
yeah,
And it said yes, and I just completely made that up to the team. I said that was
yeah.
top of my head, and then one of them was like, "Yeah, but maybe you are seeing it." And I was like, "I'm not having
No,
it. I'm
no,
not
no.
having it. I just
Okay.
made it up.
No, it popped in your head. That's
But I
how
was just making
mediumship
up some
works.
nonsense, though. It was the first
Was
thing.
it? The
Yeah,
first thing what
I
came in
know
your
what you.
head
I
was
know what
mediumship.
I know what you're saying. But
We don't know, do we?
you
That's
don't
what I love
know.
about it.
But yeah,
I really do.
yeah. But like you say, we'd have sometimes when people would be like, "Oh, is that you, Gran?" I'd say, "Well, don't say that. Say, who are you?" But these, new people around the board jumped to, "Are you my nanny, so and so?"
Yeah,
I'd say, "Well, ask them what car their husband used to drive and give them multiple choice." And that's when it was harder for the spirit, and therefore to me more effective when they were like, they got it right out of multiple
Yes,
choice. And
that's
then when you,
right.
like you say, when you try and trick them, when you say, yeah, because it was a green Morris Minor used to drive, wasn't it? And the spirit goes, yes, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't. I lied, you know.
Yeah,
But that
that's
that didn't
right.
ever happen. It was like, no, it got it right. I was trying to trick it, and it got it right. And
Yeah,
that's, I always think putting more hurdles in the way is a better way of qualifying good evidence,
yeah,
rather than
that's right.
just going, as it is it this? Yes, oh great, we got it right. Maybe
Yeah,
it's better than not getting anything on the board, of course.
yeah, that's it. If the board moves, because often it doesn't for me. So Barry says, I think we see this a lot on events where people think they have something. Very often it's an attention thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
people like
it.
to feel special. I know when the glass picks, does the spirit know anybody here, and it picks a certain person out. I think there is a moment of a showbizy complex of it's all about me. Why am I special? Which is human function, isn't it?
Yeah. So William, what the numbers and letters stand for on board? What do they mean? What are they in order? And that's a bit like message grabbers at events. I tell you what, I must admit, God, like where was I? I've been out 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, and this information came through. Oh, it's at Haunted Antiques, and it came through. And the name Marilyn came through, and something else came through, and something else come through. It's like, oh my God, it's my mum. Okay, but then information came through. Awesome. It was only like 5 of us in the room. And then the next information didn't tie with me. Quite one. And it
Mm.
turned out it was his family. But at first, it seemed like I was message grabbing because everything coming through was about me.
Yeah,
You know, but then all of a sudden it just went off, didn't it? And that was it. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. When you get a name you recognise, you do secretly think, "Ooh, I know who this is."
Yeah,
But luckily, we've learnt to not speak out. You just wait till the whole thing's spelt out. And
yeah,
often I have two Ouija boards. One with the normal alphabetized round in a circle, but another where I randomly put the letters all about. And so when communication's going good, I'll sometimes replace the board. I'll say, right, we're using this board now,
that's
and none of
better.
my people know where the letters are. You know, so it's like now I can look and see whether they are looking to the letters to find it, or just following the planchette, which luckily they do.
Yeah, that is the thing, isn't it? Because when it is moving, are people looking at the letters? Like very often it's quite dark, but
Mm.
you can see where the letters are. You need to see the letters because you need to read it. But
Yes,
yeah, our people, because it can move kind of slow, can't it? And you think, well,
can do.
is it spirit trying to find the letters, or is it the person using the board? And I have
Mm.
seen some bad occasions where people have moved the board,
Well, you
moved
can
the
you can
planchette.
tell, can't you? The planchette
Oh,
gets
it's
dragged with
obvious.
your finger, the lead finger,
Yeah,
wherever.
and
If someone's pushing
usually
it, you can
it's
tell.
white as well, isn't it? You bend it back and you've got the
Yeah,
white there, haven't
sure.
you? And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, blindfold as well.
I've
And
done
that's it,
blindfold.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
done blindfold. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, swapped different coloured plastic ink knives in front of the team. Or then I've told them I'm going to swap the colours in front of the blindfolded team, and then I haven't because their
uh,
brains are like, they're no longer in the position that they were. And then there's times when it got it right, and I'm like, whoa, how did it? No, I've not moved them. But then it goes wrong. The more you do it, you're like, it's not 100%. But Ouija board isn't 100%. Whereas as a kid, I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like texting
yeah,
a spirit. But they do seem to struggle, and I do think of it like the people around the Ouija board seem to equate to holding up an aerial for an old 80s TV, and you get it just right. Oh, today we've got it just tuned in right. It's quite a good picture. Other times, people change out. Oh, can I ever go? Someone who's new,
yeah,
sit down, and it just doesn't work. And that looks like you're pushing it then. I haven't pushed it. I don't come for 14 years to push my own board. What would be the point? But you sort of say, look, I think you've brought something different to this board, and it's not working the same. That's why
yeah,
we kind of don't do public events because of this. We're interested in enjoying it for ourselves selfishly. We want
yeah.
to
Well,
we want to know it's
no,
genuine.
it's not selfish. It's about your path, isn't it? And your journey. I do a
Mm.
mixture of both.
Yeah.
Like, I've just got into doing sort of public events more with Barry John. We've got our own bookings. If you look at listed ghost hunts and other events, you know, Barry's got into do Newstead Abbey, which is an incredible place. We've virtually sold out of 3 events, and we sell out really quickly. And we sort of put them up there, and we've got our own as well. And I, I do find it interesting, sort of meeting the different people and seeing how different people work.
Yeah.
Also, you see different like our events are generally for more experienced people. Well, the ones we book separately, but obviously, like anyone can come along. But it's when you sort of see the change in attitudes between when people sort of first arrive, who don't believe any of it, then the end of the night, they're talking to everyone around them. They've
Yeah.
got this shared experience of something which may have happened, and it's just intriguing, isn't it? And
The
you've kind
ske-
of helped to give them something. You've
Yeah.
given them a memory for the future. You know,
You said about skeptics there. They're the ones who give you the best bang for the buck. Like you say, by the end they're like,
definitely.
"What? I thought it was rubbish, but there's something here."
Yes.
Yeah, that's best. Whereas everyone else is like, "Yeah, I knew there were ghosts." They're quite laid back about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It is good with the skeptics, but then
Mm.
when you sort of mention the energy and like changing somebody on the board,
Mm.
um, I believe that you need certain chemistry. So you've got 4 people using a board who are eager with the right intention. I can see it moving more likely than somebody who's just sitting like that, doesn't want to be there.
Mm.
And I think you've got no chance of anything happening there.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I've seen it. I've seen it at public
Yeah,
events. Yeah, you put in someone who just doesn't believe in it, it goes dead.
yeah, and there's nothing you can do as a host
Mm.
to actually get anything to happen.
No.
Like I was at an event and I had a whole group, and then sort of split the group, and I ended up with the ones who were interested, and the other person ended up with the people, yeah, who really didn't want to be there. So,
Yeah.
you know, that after that, it was just flat for them, but we started getting activity,
Mm.
and I just love it. I really do. William's got a question then. What do you think letters and numbers hold so much energy? Why do you think letters and numbers hold so much energy?
I'm I don't understand the question.
Right.
What does do letters and numbers hold energy? I don't think they do. I think it's not to do with that at all. I think my Ouija board isn't a real. I say real. I know Ouija boards are real. They're all created, right? So like
Yeah.
mine's an IKEA table with black permanent marker on it, but I made it
Oh,
myself.
brilliant.
I put myself into it. I added no comment. I added new spirit joined. I learned over the years what I need for my communication. But I think the board is absolutely nothing to do with it. I think we could all link hands, or I don't think the board is important. Burn it, destroy it, get a second one. Change them out. I
Yeah.
think it's spirit just between our human energy and the spirit energy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're using a yes and no table, and it's the same energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think there is any inherent value in the board other than it's useful. You know.
Okay, then, William. So
Yeah, you'd
I
have to
don't know.
explain to me what your point of view is on that, William,
Yeah,
because
it,
it's new to me.
it's all about your own belief system, isn't it, William? Like we all work different ways. We don't 100% know sort of. We can only surmise what we think happens. And yeah, there are, people say about angel numbers, things like that, and how numbers, but, it's what resonates with different people, isn't it?
So,
Like,
what is William saying? That if I write A on a table, it actually the symbol itself holds some distant energy or something? Do you know what William means?
no, I don't. No, I'm not really sure. Be,
No,
you
I've
know,
heard of
be,
numerology where your
yeah,
numbers. I
I've heard,
get
yeah, I've
that.
heard of numerology, yeah, and
Mm,
I've had a go at it.
right.
But the thing is, with me being an accountant, I naturally notice numbers.
Mm,
So, yeah, oh, numerology, yeah. Yeah, I do understand numerology. But the way my head works, I do notice numbers. So I wouldn't attach that to a spirit sort of side of things because as part of my development years ago, we sort of did a week where, for our homework, we sort of went around like for us to say what numbers we were going to get. Like you walk down the street, do you notice a license plate? Do you notice a number on there? Do you notice a particular front door number? Are you getting these same numbers through? What do they mean and everything? But the thing was, I notice numbers all the time, and it's not about a spiritual side because I work with numbers on a daily basis, and it's the way my head works, which is odd. But yeah,
I can add nothing to this numerology conversation. I just haven't looked into it, so I can't dismiss it. I'm not dismissing it. I just haven't got a clue where to
yeah,
go with
yeah.
it.
I have tried to work with it, and I actually thought it would gel with me, but it didn't.
Hmm.
And it's the way. Yeah, there you go. So it's Gary. Hi, Gary. He's a brilliant medium. I'm going to be meeting him soon. We're going to be investigating with him. So, yeah, and it is what works for different people, isn't it?
Hmm. It's something I don't know anything about.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And
Hmm.
I've covered it because, I did development. I covered it just the once, twice. I've not gone down that path because
Hmm.
it's not what resonates with me. And that's
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
Designing a new Ouija board. Can't give much away, but it's the same method to use, but a completely different way.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
good.
I mean, people tell me that because I design my own Ouija boards, that it's somehow better than buying one. I always think the ones that are made, shop wise, the letters are too close together. I don't like a
Yeah.
triangular planchette with a hole in the middle. We use anything other than that, like yogurt pots. We were told you must only use a glass, and we were like, well, let's try something else. Let's use plastic or a candle. You
CDs are
know,
good.
yeah.
The old style CDs are brilliant. The glide as well.
This is backing up my claim that it's not about the Ouija board or the planchette. It's about us.
Yeah, it's about the
Yeah, please
energy.
suggest. Yeah, put an Amazon link in the comments or something. I'll read it.
Yeah, yeah. Numerology is good, but it's whether it resonates with the individual, isn't it?
Yeah,
And like there are so many different methods, and like people are into angels, people are into demons,
crystals.
maybe, or whatever they're into, and
Yeah.
you've got obviously all the signs, haven't you? Then you've got the astrology. You've got like loads of different areas and aspects of things, haven't you?
Well, look, I didn't think Ouija boards would work. I went in going, no, this won't work, and then I was convinced they do. But I always go into everything thinking it won't work. So numerology sounds stupid. So I'll read about it and try it and go, oh yeah, there's something there.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to say yes. I just always start on a no. Like crystals, I just can't get on board with crystals.
yeah. That is another method. Like once again, like one of my first lessons,
Mm,
they stuck a crystal under everybody's chair.
yeah,
Oh, William, thank you so much. So yeah, it's put the Wikipedia link in there so you can check
nice.
it out.
Thanks.
And we sat on a chair and there's a crystal on there, and I actually picked something up, and it was weird, but I don't know. I have worked with crystals. I don't
Well,
work with crystals generally.
I did a crystal
I've had them.
experiment involving Yvette Fielding, and I had 20 crystals, and they were all not meant to, said to give you better wealth. They were quite. I can't remember what the actual supposed purpose of them was,
Yeah,
but I made sure they were quite low on the making money sort of side. And
right.
yet I told everyone, I put them all in bags, and I gave 10 people them saying they were meant to make you feel better, and 10 people some that meant to bring wealth, something like that. And I gave one in particular to a friend of mine who worked in crystals, and that's what I remember. I remember the experiment now. I've had 10 genuine crystals in 10 of the pouches, and 10 stones off my street that were just stones. That was it.
Yeah.
And I said they were meant to give you, you know, up your spirits and give you money, bring you money. That was it. So I only picked up one and did one that I knew what was in it myself, and it was
Yeah.
a stone that I gave to my crystal working friend, who was overjoyed. Oh, I can feel it working already. I'm like, but you work in crystals, so you're telling me that this stone is? Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
might seem like a
Yeah.
cheap shot, but it was an experiment. And it was only once. I can't take that result as okay. That's it. You need to do results, tests multiple times.
Yeah.
But people were like very 50-50 on it. Some people were like, whatever I've got that I didn't know. I did come into some money, yes. Well, what did you have? Oh, I had a crystal. Well, they had the same effect, and it was a stone. But what interested me most was my crystal work. That was a job, to work with
Yeah.
crystals all the time. And
Wow.
I was like, you just got a stone, though. I know you've got a stone before you tell me. Interesting
Yeah.
that you were over. I can feel its power.
Oh
Can you?
no.
Well, maybe so.
No.
Maybe road tar is, the best crystal out there that you just haven't discovered. You know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so William, he hasn't sort of, yeah, things like crystals are outside the main body, and that's it, isn't it? There are loads of tools you can use, and like you have got stones on the pendulums. They've generally got crystal with them, haven't they? So,
I just think even within crystals that work for people, it's not the crystal, it's you. I think
oh, it,
it's like a wand. You're infusing whatever method, the Ouija board, whatever you use. It's you putting energy in. It's nothing to do with a pendulum or anything like
yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, that's the thing because people do use pendulums, but yeah, does it matter what is on there? Like I know a person and he's found like rocks. And they'll get metal, wrap it up. There you go. It's still from the earth, isn't it?
Mm. I want to answer.
It's still there.
I want to answer Carl with this one because
Yeah.
this is an issue I had. People spoke Old English. I've never had people speaking Old English to me, or any other. Yeah, we never had French or anything. So we'd ask spirits, "How does it work then? How do you explain yourselves that
Yeah.
we're
Exactly.
talking to a 5-year-old or who's smelling this?" And they say, and this is it troubles me because it's like a get out. It's like spirits evolve on that side, and there's also once you're an energy and not trapped in a French body or an English body, you're out of all that. And so whether your body couldn't read or write, don't forget that spirits tell us that you reincarnate all the time, and you go back
Yeah.
to this. We think of this as the main world and the afterlife as something else. You start in the afterlife, that's your main thing, and you come down to Earth as like us going to school, like a lesson. So this isn't the real existence. When you're not in this horrible meat sack that decays, you are that energy and you go back to where you should be. And
Yeah.
then you come down and you have another experience in a different meat sack. So when you're in spirit, you don't have the communication problem. That's the explanation that I have, and I know
Yeah.
I'm with you if you think it sounds rubbish, and I'm with you if you just go, yeah, maybe.
I don't know because we don't know, and we can only go on what we think and what we
Mm,
believe. Um, it is there, but yeah, I think we're energy, and then we sort of come here, and then sort of go back there, don't we? And then I have had, I believe, past life experiences.
yeah,
Maybe two that I know of, and potentially more. And there are things what resonate from there, which actually impact on me today. So, for instance, in the 1200s, I was apparently a fruit seller at Nottingham Castle. Oh, I'm still in Nottingham. Can't get out, can I?
makes sense. It makes sense that
But
you're there.
But what I don't like and never have in this life, I don't like fruit because it's sticky on my fingers.
Mm.
That's kind of illogical, isn't it? But
Yeah,
then
where's
again,
that come from?
if I'm a fruit seller,
Yeah.
that would explain it because you wouldn't be able to wash your hands. And my
Mhm.
gosh, if you're all day selling some manky fruit off a tree you picked it from,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's there, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I drowned in the deep sea because I've got an irrational fear at looking at photos of a
Oh wow.
black sea, and I'm like, I feel like I'm falling into it, like I have fallen into it at some point. And why? Where's that from? I've not
Yeah,
watched anything. I've not watched anything even at a young age about that. Yeah, I just always had it. Yeah, so I do believe in past lives.
yeah. It's like Cole's
You know,
been told not to look into it. A few mediums have told him the same.
yeah, I don't think we're supposed to. Spirits say you're not supposed to know what goes on over there, over here.
Yeah,
But like there are rules that we're meant to obey in
yeah.
life that we twist.
Question
So
mark. Yeah.
you know,
Oh
overwhelmingly sick at the
wow.
farm. Yeah, yeah. Who's to say? Who's to
We
say
just
whether that was your anxiousness at it, the fear factor, or whether you were feeling an energy?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's good.
Um, I've investigated with Shane. Is
Right.
we're going to be sort of doing events, and Shane's going to be helping us, which it's going
Mm.
to be brilliant. He's so experienced.
All right.
And when we've been out investigating, I think he's got something around him, and it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of went into, I don't know if it's the same farmhouse, but went into the farmhouse, and a lot of the equipment was going off at the same time. And it wasn't down to EMF either, because it didn't EMF didn't affect it in any way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible what happened that night. But then
Mm.
after that, it was a public event, and some of the people didn't have any activity. So I then went back in the room and tried it with them, and yeah, nothing happened. It's rubbish. So there you
Mm.
go.
Yeah, I
Hi,
do think
Catherine.
people
Right.
carry energy. Some of my team, I just know that if I sit down at a board with them, it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why that is. Don't know what it equates to. We had spirits talking about one of my ex-team members as being the green man all the time, and what that meant to the spirits was that he could pass them over.
Oh wow.
And he was
Okay.
like, really? So, he sort of said as you would think, look for a white light, we'll create some energy, a doorway, somebody comes through and takes you through, and then the board will just go dead. And we were like, look, they're telling you can do this. I know you don't think you can, but they're saying that you can. You're the green man. And so if you went anywhere where green man was spelled out, we'd like, somebody needs a spirit rescue. And he's like, okay.
That's
It's,
good.
you know,
Yeah. So maybe we have all got a purpose.
yeah, maybe,
Maybe the
yeah.
spirits recognise
Mm.
something about each of us.
I would love to think that the spirits see me as just a quester. You know what I mean? That I'm always searching. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. And I like to think that I can walk into an empty. I don't feel too afraid walking into a ghost-filled area on my own. I feel like they respect me. Do you know what I mean? I have this like
So,
understanding that I'll be fine. Um,
yeah. I kind of
but
feel I'm protected at home
yeah,
because I go out, and like some of the encounters we have been heavy.
mm,
And I don't know why, but I do go out with experienced people. I'm out with Catherine, Gary Fields, I've been out with Shane, and I think when certain people get together, anything can happen, and invariably it does around me. And I don't know why, but you then come home, and I just kind of feel like something protects me here.
mm,
I do get sounds here, I can be here and something could fall over in the back room. That's fine.
yeah.
I'm not bothered. I'm not scared. That's it, innit?
I had something earlier in my own house. I mean, on my fridge, I have a magnet, and it said my credit card amount at the current time.
Yeah.
And I was going to the bank today to sort of pay them off, and I was looking on my app for the amounts, and the magnet peg slid down my fridge, and I sort of took it off, and it was the amounts for the credit card. I was like, oh yeah, I went thanks.
Oh
Like,
wow.
I didn't
Yeah.
need to look at this; it's already wrote down, and you know, I didn't really question it. I was like, I know it's stupid, and it might have just been gravity, but I was like, hey, thanks, for
Yeah.
passing me that.
It is incredible when you do get weird things. Like I'm great at losing things.
Mm,
So like you want your oh god, you want your tape to wrap up presents, and you
yes,
think, oh, where is it? I haven't used it for 12 months.
yeah,
So and then I'll find it randomly on the floor in front of my feet.
mm,
Or my eye will just like I'll just automatically my face and my eyes will just turn to where it is.
mm,
And this happens time and time again.
Yeah.
I can be looking everywhere for something, then it could be right in front of my face on this desk.
Mm.
And it's like, well, where has that come from?
Yes. I have women's products appear on the seat where I was sat. Scrunchies, hair clips. I mean, I'll get up.
Are they taking the piss out of you then?
I don't know, but it's like, hey, I'm here and I'm happy. It makes me feel secure, like I'm not on my own and I'm being,
Yeah, that's
comforted.
funny.
But on the flip side, last weekend I had the team here for the first time this year,
Yeah.
and I was suddenly looking for my tripod phone attachment so I could put my phone or Lucy's phone on a tripod. And I stand up to look for it, and I look around, and I'm like, where? It's not where it should be. It's not next to it. It's not on the table where I was. And I look down. It's on my seat, and I said to my sister, "Huh? Was that? I was just sat there." And she went, "What? I can't believe that's there." So we thought it was, paranormal. But I said to my teammate, when you watch this recording back, let me know. I had it in my hand, stood up, put it down on my chair, lost it, found I put it there. And I was like, that's it. Sometimes it's paranormal, sometimes you're just 50, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like there's times like you come home from work and you just put the keys down somewhere, and then the next day you can't find them, and
Yeah.
you just go straight in to the back door or make coffee or something, and somewhere along the way the keys go, and you can't ever find them, and
Mm.
you just do, don't you? You just absentmindedly put things down sometimes, and
Well,
you say, "Oh, I never put them there," but you did.
yeah, yeah, my keys are always in the door or on the stair step. If they're not there, I'm like, someone has taken it.
Yeah, mine are usually on this table. I don't know if they are. Oh yeah, look here.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it should be. You should
Found 'em.
know it's always there.
Oh, here you go. Like Chris's car keys were on top of the kitchen cabinet. He was blamed. He's 5'2". Of course, blamed 5'2". I blamed the cat because it wasn't me, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I got another one. I threw away my wedding ring at work in a vat of ink, what a printer,
Oh,
uh, and regretted it. I thought, come on, you didn't have a big fallout. Why did you get rid of it? And that went off to the skip. But I was a bit like, that was hasty. Fair enough, it was hasty. And it was 6 months later or something like that, and I opened up my work bag, and my dinner, my jumper, my scarf rolling around in there, and right on top, as soon as I unzipped it, was my wedding ring, and I
wow.
was like, impossible. I can still see it now. Me
Oh my
pushing it in,
God.
pushing it in. I didn't dip my finger in. I remember getting the card, screwing it up, and pushing it deep into this dirty ink, and then regretting it. And yet, it turns up in my bag months later, when I've gone in my bag every day, it's tumbled and tumbled, and there it is presented on my scarf. And that was one of those moments I was like, come on, the paranormal is real, because that's impossible.
Yeah, you can't, and yeah, you can't explain it, and it is. That's kind of why we do this, isn't it?
It is. That's worth
It's
all
so
the empty hours.
fascinating.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
But you can't. That evidence is no good to anybody else. Me telling everyone on this podcast that story will not change their mind one way or the other. Everyone has to investigate to have those experiences, to have the light bulb go, huh, that was curious.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Now, then, do you think that you can continue going to events? You see the flashy, beepy things, Oh yeah, wow, and the first time it happens, like, oh, okay.
Mm,
But, it doesn't like, exactly prove anything. Just because the
no.
light flashes, what's happening really, People
Mhm.
say it's you're connected to this, you're connected to that, and
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know why the light's going off, as long as you've turned your phone off and everything, and,
Mm.
the Wi-Fi's not interfering or any known electrics, fair enough. But you told this. But then one day, do you think spirit shows you something, gives you an experience which makes you realise that actually this does exist and it's real? Have you had that moment?
With meters specifically, or
No. Has spirit shown you beyond doubt? that
Yes.
something exists.
Yeah. We were at the Bronte sisters. Have you heard of the Bronte
Haworth,
sisters?
yeah.
So Haworth, in the schoolrooms, what you can no longer investigate, I booked it out when you could, and I mean the tables were you could sit 12 people around on a stage, and yeah, my wires tie themselves in knots behind the TV. That must be spirits as well. So yeah, these massive tables that on a stage, I couldn't lift it up myself. You know, it was far too heavy. We basically put our hands on it, and at points that evening, it was just gliding across the stairs. And I'm like, hang on, that is physically impossible. Can we just pick this table up to move it? And bearing in mind there's like 6 or 7 of us.
Yeah,
It was a real lumbering job. We could pick it up and move it, but it just went like it was on ice. And
yeah,
I was like, it's impossible. And it'd spin, it would tip on its side. And I'm like, defying physics. That was the
yeah,
first time that I was like, I'm already sold and I want more. You
yeah,
know. So yeah, that night was like witnessing a miracle. You know,
yes, get
defied
you.
logic.
Yeah.
But
I just
it
kind of
was,
think like for years, like I did, you went and you got your flashy light, but
yeah,
it just proved that something may or may not be happening. But
mm,
then this like child basically jumped in to me and my head was going to her mouth, get it out of me, and that was at Matlock Pavilion. And
mm,
that night also, a lady went into trance, my friend Patricia Ann Farrar, and I was picking up um same character she was getting. So she was picked up a young girl, and I saw this girl and saw the anguish of this girl's face over her face as she was drowning. And I shouted, "Stop," or something, as then Patricia went on to say the story that she was drowning.
yeah,
The room was really quiet, and then all of a sudden, because I'd seen it, I saw, oh my gosh, and I said stop, and like everyone looked at me like, oh God. And then
mm,
somebody else came through, and I saw him in my mind's eye, and I
yeah,
felt his energy and happy and everything else. And then she went on to mention this other gentleman. And then all through that night, I was picking up, I picked up the sorrow of this lady who'd lost her children. And it's such a deep sorrow. It's not like anything I've ever experienced. My
yeah,
sorrow is different from that. I was picking
right,
up other emotions and everything. And it was like that night probably showed me what maybe one day I can achieve
yeah,
mediumistically.
mm,
I'm not there yet, but it just showed me and it proved that there was something at. Yeah, I'm going to Matlock Path 3 times this year, at least. Three of our events, two public and one private. But yeah, I just can't wait. So we sold out of one of them quite quick and got September one up. But oh my God, what an incredible place! Oh my God, yeah, Ruth, I just can't wait for it. I really can't. Um, I can't get like I'm going out every Friday and Saturday this month. It's not good, is it?
it's tiring,
But
isn't
things
it? It's
happen.
hard work.
Yeah, especially since I'm not very well at the moment.
Mm,
Luckily things are holding back at the moment. I've got a bit of a chest infection trying to come on.
mm,
But yeah, I've managed to talk now for a bit without. So
yeah, yeah.
hopefully we're all right for now.
It's interesting how you seem to work with much more of the medium side. You know, these people
Yes.
who have a much wider scope, whereas we are a team of 5 neutral. You know, just like when we're not that side. And yet, you have had amazing experiences, and I have had amazing experiences. It's not like I'm sitting here going, well, I've tried and asked and nothing ever happens. No, I've seen the amazing things, and I'm
Brilliant.
not sceptical, but, you know, there's no extra channeling powers going on there.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's like the spirits can, if you fish for long enough, you'll see something incredible to
Yeah,
make you
that's right.
convinced, you know.
Like even people who can't pick things up, mediumistic, and I can't, not all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you get a footstep.
Mm.
Like, I was out at Derby Jail, and Blackgate Paranormal. That was with Circle of Friends. They're brilliant. And Blackgate Paranormal were there. Jane Blackgate was there. Well, she calls herself Jane Blackgate, and she was there. And was speaking of one of the events I went to, what she ran at Stoke and Josiah Wedgwood's old house. And we all sat around this absolutely huge table. It was a wooden table. It seated probably about 20 plus people. So we sat round it, and somebody did the old knock knock copy me. You know,
Mm.
you always laugh because it's all typical most haunts, doesn't it? It's like, oh god, but you know, I do it for a laugh half the time. You know, copy me. You know, high pitched voice. There you go. And yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be done sometimes, and it makes people laugh, which helps with the energy levels and everything.
There's a lot of
So we're
times for it,
there,
isn't there?
and this guy he taps twice.
Yeah.
You copy me. There was a solid tap
Mm.
twice, just like him, and quite solid. It wasn't a little tap. Oh,
Yeah.
did you hear that? No, it was blatantly obvious.
Nice.
So then it's like we got to a stage with like, can you do one for yes and two for no? We were getting it. So it's like, all right then, everybody move away from the table. You know, make sure it's not us. You know, just to prove it. The table was vibrating as well
Yeah.
because our hands were on it. There was still, you could see everyone's hands were still,
Mm.
but like, you know, get away from the table. Just make, and we were. And it was knocking right. You know, we're asking the questions,
Mm.
and you're getting the answers through.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
to get, and you know, to just to go on an investigation, public or private, or you know, whatever, but just to get something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a
It
lot of people
takes.
say public events are rubbish, blah blah blah. You're not
Yep.
investigating properly,
Yeah.
but you are. You're going out and getting an experience,
Mm.
and it's what you make of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. We've had some good knocks. I was going. You made me think then that sometimes on, I guess, more table tipping and things like that,
Yeah.
that we all have witnessed like the wood table going spongy. It's like it feels different.
Oh
You know,
wow,
it's like not, and we don't know what that is. But
that's interesting.
it's
Yeah.
like it just when when things are not doing anything, it's different to when something is happening and the tables are moving.
Yeah. But
So
it is incredible, like just when you get a different experience.
yeah.
Like even Derby Jail public event. I was there and all of a sudden I got pains under both ribs, at the bottom of both ribs at the same time.
Mm.
I was crying, it hurt like hell.
Yeah.
It wasn't my pain.
Right.
It was so ferocious.
Mm.
But then Joe from Circle of Friends, when we were over at the jail, she was at Vernongate Jail, which is like 5-10 minutes walk away from that jail. It is a jail; it's got a drop and everything. And she actually got a pain the same.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
like, well, did we actually get that pain at the same time?
Mm.
Two different places, and it's not something you tend to experience.
Yeah, that's not normal day to day, really.
No, you know, it was incredible, and like I think Rob was quite worried because
Mm.
it hurt like hell, you know, like yeah, I do feel the pains and whatever, and it's fine, but that was like wow, and you know, it, somebody sort of said she'd Joe picked up that horse had been kicking. No, somebody had been kicking people in the ribs. So I couldn't get what it was, and yeah, it's potentially that's what would have caused that pain.
So let's discuss when you get a spiritual pain that a spirit has allowed you to feel the same as them.
Yeah.
Where is the line between that and possession? Let's say. What's the difference?
Possession is where you lose control. Like I asked what happened when that little girl, like there's overshadowing, and they get close.
Mm.
And when that little girl, she took my body over, I felt, I can't say 100%, but then again, I was doing the hokey cokey. We were holding hands in an energy circle.
Mm.
I was doing the hokey cokey. I was laughing like crazy. I wasn't in control of anything I was doing.
Yeah.
I was aware of what was happening,
Mm.
but I couldn't do anything about it.
So you think a spirit was controlling your body?
It I know it's ludicrous.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No judgment.
I know it's highly ludicrous, but yes, I
No
believe
judgment.
that.
But
Yeah,
what's the
but
difference between
like
that
it
and
freaked me
possession?
out. It freaked me out.
Yeah.
So that is. I spoke to Ben Winfield, and he said he calls it partial possession. I
Mm,
don't know. I spent like months and years like, who can you ask?
mm.
I can now. I can mention it. I was embarrassed by it. Like, you can't go to someone in the street and say, "Oh, this happened." I think you're crazy. And I was asking mediums, like, what happened? I was trying to find out what the explanation was of it.
Mm.
And I'm fine talking about it now, but I wasn't at the time because I thought, well, this is just a bit mad. But
Yeah.
that is like, that's where you're out of control. The pain is something like you just get a feeling, you tell them to go away, and they just go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you get a person who gets a headache.
Mm.
That is just like putting that pain onto you. It's
Yeah.
just
But
something in a small area and it goes.
yeah, it's just two different.
Ruth as well.
It's
Yeah.
two different conversations of you feeling a pain that is spiritual, and a spiritual attachment is like
It
the
is
other side of the coin. And
different.
yet, it's
Yeah,
not
it is
that.
totally different.
Where is the line there? Because you're allowing spirits to physically affect you, and you have no power over whether that overtakes your body. I imagine it just happens or it doesn't, right?
I don't know because the first time it happened, I didn't have any choice. I
Yeah.
didn't have a clue what was happening.
Mm.
I was scared to death.
So
I
are we
really
all
was.
at danger like that? Really, when we open ourselves up.
Are we? I don't know. I do invite spirit close to me now.
Mm.
I now know how to control it. If it gets too heavy, I push him away.
Yeah.
Somehow I know how to do that. I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad. Like I can kind of draw spirit towards me. I know I can do that. And I was at an investigation at Drakelow Tunnels. The woman who was leading it told me to stop doing it. Well, how the hell does she know what I was doing? You know what I mean? My face didn't change.
Mm.
And yeah, I know I can do that. I know that in certain situations my face will change because I can draw them. Yeah, but I have control. But then sometimes, like when they used to get too close, I just kind of people will go, "Are you all right?" And I go, "Yeah," and then you feel that ain't like me talking. So it's like they've got too close, but you're kind of not 100% aware that happened.
Mm.
It's really weird. Like, yeah.
So you lose a bit of time and space.
No,
You know,
you're aware of it. You're
oh,
aware
right.
of it. It's just, well, I am.
Mm.
It's like the other night, on Friday, two people went into trance.
Yeah.
One's never done it before. She couldn't remember anything, but had a massive headache at the end of it.
Yes.
And yet, for us, they're coherent, they're speaking, they're telling a story, and it is, it's just all so odd. It really is.
So we agree that we have a spirit in us, and we agree that potentially another spirit can enter you and take you over. I wonder what the limitation
Okay,
is. How many you can be affected by at once.
I don't know, because the thing
Yeah.
is, like, we're we're born and our bodies are a vessel, aren't they, in a way?
Yeah. They're a meat bag.
So,
Yeah.
and then people can, I don't know if you agree, maybe people can get attachments. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do believe it because we have an attachment in us. We are dead, living inside a. You know what I mean? We're a spirit, so
Right.
therefore,
Yeah.
obviously, must be. We can see it works right now. Otherwise, I'd be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. So
So how can
then,
you not believe attachments? Because you are an
so
attachment.
then, you've got you, the spirit
Mm.
of you, and then you got something else with you. You think that can happen?
What
This
when
is
you've
getting
got?
quite mad, isn't it?
You mean when you've got an attachment, or do you mean like a spiritual
Yeah,
helper?
because when you've got an attachment, then you've got something else with you, haven't you?
Yes, yes. A
So
teammate
you're
had an
working
attachment,
harder.
and I think supposedly, when she fell through a house floor while urbexing, this attachment that she'd always had for a while, supposedly, she felt like hands stopping her going more through. I've only got her word for it, but I imagine that is how it works. That something is in
Yeah,
there as well.
yeah.
I
It's
don't
not,
know.
and that is why I love it. I really do. It's just mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mad. But then when you think about science of us being existing,
Yeah,
we don't know it. So it's like, yeah, it's unknowable. That's why it's so fun, right? We're
yeah.
drawn to it because it's like it's amazing. The thought,
It is
you know.
amazing. It is
So
so addictive.
I don't
It
understand
really
people
is.
who are interested. Ghosts on them. I don't think they exist. It's like what a loss to your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's what the funny thing is. Oh yeah, I saw on Facebook somebody posted something. It's probably a mainstream newspaper or something going a ghost thing, and haha, they don't exist. And you think, well,
Mm,
actually, mate, there is this like extra dimension that you're actually missing out on,
yeah, yeah,
and I think it's to me, it's funny because that they are missing out on this, and then we've got this extra. This got this extra thing going off around us, haven't we?
yeah, yeah.
We've got these extra experiences, which
Mm,
that they'll probably go to the pub, go to the bar, laugh, have karaoke. But us, we have these like mind blowing experiences.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know skeptics who I got talking about guardian angels to a fair amount of people for a project I did, and a woman who is absolutely doesn't believe in life after death, or didn't
Yeah,
until she was in a car crash. She was shunted. Two cars hit her from behind in a load of traffic. You know the old braking at a roundabout where you think that person's gone and they haven't. So
yeah,
one car in front of her, two behind, and absolutely crushed. And she goes, and as she was getting crushed, these wings came around her and shielded her from the impact, and that's why she survived. And she's telling me, no, wings came and stopped me from dying. I'd have been dead. But she goes, but I
wow.
don't believe in ghosts. She goes, but I tell you that happened. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
was like
yeah,
that. I was
amazing.
like that. I
You've had
was.
something similar.
Well, I'm not. No, not. I would sort of say accounts of what happened in my pub, but I didn't necessarily believe in ghosts. I'd talk to them.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't think I wanted to admit.
yeah.
And this is the thing, isn't it? Do you are you ready to admit? Are you scared to admit?
Mm,
As a child, I wouldn't have liked to sort of admit about ghosts. I would have
yes.
been scared to death.
I think I was the same. Fascinated, but not willing to say they exist because
I
I
didn't
was
want one in
already
the
scared.
bedroom.
No.
My
Mm,
God. Imagine how you deal with that. Now we
well,
actually know.
yeah, but there was a time when I'd watch Most Haunted and go to bed and not want to walk through the house with the lights off, and now I'm just not like that. That's how I've evolved. I'm less scared of death. I'm more happy in life. I can walk through the dark. I can speak in public and do podcasts. This is just the hobby has transformed my personality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you see, I did podcasts because of lockdown.
Mm,
I got the opportunity. I've been doing it for 5 years now.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mm,
I do chat, but gosh, like the first time I got like 100 questions, and
mm,
it's like I couldn't read them. It's like, oops, and like you just think, oh gosh, but no, your head does it, doesn't it? And it's
yeah.
just like a normal conversation, and it's intriguing. It really is. It's just so fascinating.
But I often tell myself, why am I wasting my life exploring the dead when I will know when I die all the answers? And then I'll be like, right, I know the answers. Now can I go back and live? Oh, no.
Good
That
point.
life's
Yeah,
done. It's like I'm almost wasting my time when I'm going to find out later. Like, I'm unwrapping Christmas presents Christmas Eve night and ruining Christmas. But,
yeah. I totally get you. Like my whole thing was like a New Year's resolution to find out if ghosts existed after
yeah.
watching Most Haunted,
Mm,
and I'm still doing it to that day. That's 2003.
yeah.
I'm doing it now, and like I know something exists. I'm not finding out any more,
Yeah.
Like, we go out, I speak to something,
Mm.
we're getting answers, like, we're getting to know the name of who it is, but what are we actually get? We're not actually evolving and getting further information, are we?
No.
And even
No.
if we validate it, like if you get Mary Queen of Scots and you get everything from one way or another, and what are you actually? You haven't actually learned anything from that, have you? Other
Mm.
than like if you've connected once before and then managed to validate it, then you know that can happen. That's nothing new. And what is this? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go with?
And your mic gone off. Yeah, the validation part is rare. It's all right, saying that when evidence that checks out comes, but it's not often, is it? As we said at the beginning. I think your mic's off, Jackie. I think your mic's off.
Hello?
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear you now.
Yeah, can't you hear me? I think mine's on.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Hello?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Oh
hear me?
well, we're all good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technology.
Oh, I know. I've got these little buttons here, and I must have been twiddling
Must have
them,
tapped it, yeah.
as happens.
Mm.
But oh, that's good. Cheers, Ruth. But it is an incredible thing we do, though, isn't it? And
Mm.
I think one of the best spirits I spoke to was at a pub. I think it was. Oh, it's near Stratford anyway. So we'd totally got this pub, and we're all investigating it. We all knew what we were doing, and we managed to get through a former landlord who'd passed in 1999. He was brilliant. So we could ask him questions about the afterlife. And it's very rare that you can get a spirit who's kind of on your side. You know what I mean? Like, you go asking the questions, but you want the real answers, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And he asked us over the board, how are you doing this? So he was asking us
Mm.
how we were connecting on the board, and yet we always think they're communicating with us. But
We get, why are you doing this? That's what
yeah,
we
and he's
get.
getting, how are you doing this?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it was really cool. And we're
Yeah.
kind of trying to ask him questions like, what happens between here and there? And we asked him about the current landlord.
Mm.
And then on the board it says, oh, say hello to somebody for me. So the next day we said to the landlord who was there now, we gave him some information. It blew his head.
Mm.
He knew that he'd got this spirit around him all the time. He knew it was his former landlord. He knew that.
Yeah.
But what happened that particular night, one of the regulars said, oh, what are you doing tonight? And, oh, they're doing ghost hunting. Oh, yeah, well, just say, who's it says hello to,
Mm.
the former landlord.
Yeah.
So on this board, this customer's name actually came through. And he says hello
Yeah.
to this person who sort of said, so this spirit had heard him say something in the pub and then put it out on the board.
Yeah.
And to get that, it's amazing. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Another funny story. I went to Gresley Old Hall. So some creepy woods around there. So we went there first, and we managed to bump into a past Rastafarian. Okay. And we sort of said, well, why don't you follow us to the hall? So we turned up at the hall to this public event. And shortly into it, one of the guests actually started speaking in a Rastafarian accent.
Yeah.
And it seems like the spirit's quite shocked. And he was kind of saying, "What am I doing here?" And he could see the spirits in the house.
Mm.
And like all of a sudden, like he's brought into their area. He's from like modern day. They're from the, you know, whatever, 1800s, whatever.
Mm.
And it's just so like weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the end, he had to go out because he'd sort of gone into sort of a bit of a situation, really. But it was just so like amazing.
Yeah.
Like we sort of
Yeah.
said, "Oh, come and follow us," and to get that validation that this guest actually became what we'd picked up from the woods.
Yeah. I know we were doing a Ouija board in a mill once, and we had some people, two spirits from the Tower Bridge driving attacks, the terrorism thing.
Oh
But we were
my!
out investigating, and then these names came through, and it wasn't until we got home that we found them to be
Oh my God!
correct, and we were like, "That's weird." And
Yeah,
that brings me to like where the spirits come from. You said about what the spirit said. How are you doing this? We've done spirits in a similar building. That this same spirit gets dragged to us. It appears quite argumentative. It's like, what do you want? Saying to us, and I'm like, what? Why? What brought you here? Your light. Oh, we dragged you here by asking out. Yeah. Can I go back to what
oh,
we're doing? And it's like, yeah, sorry. And then it happened again. It's like, you again. What you doing? Oh, are you? Have we spoke to you before? Yeah, yeah. Dragged you here. I don't
how
know why. Yeah,
intriguing!
so weird. So weird. But we have
And
had foreign
yeah,
people as well.
it is strange. I don't get that because when I was at Newstead Abbey, I sort of I've done one public event there, and straight away we went into the child's room, and I picked up on this lady spirit who'd like she'd gone in that room to get away from everybody in the house. So she's there walking around just reading a book, just solitude. All
Mm,
of a sudden all arrived. So I picked up on her. I apologised to her because like we were put in that room for an hour, and then I was going to take another group in there in a bit, because you section off and you're going to go in certain areas, and I was really apologetic. So, we carried on the night. As I left the building, there was Barry John at the back, there was Barry's sister in front of him, and then me. As I stepped through the door, I heard my name Jackie called.
mm,
Loud female voice. I turned. Amanda behind me said, "I've just heard your name, Jackie." And to get that validation that A, she heard the same as me, and it was my name being called as well.
mm.
We both heard it the same. So now I can't wait to get back in because I think she's waiting for me.
Yeah.
And because I was apologetic, well, she now wants to talk to us. And
Mm,
it's things like that, isn't it? And like when you
yeah.
go to the same location, you meet the same spirits. And they're like friends in a way, aren't they? It's weird.
They are like friends, absolutely. Well, there's a lot of spirits that you say hello to and certainly goodbye after a session.
Oh,
The spirits
gosh, yeah.
see you later, Anna. Take care.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So you heard your name called. Gets me on
Yes,
sounds. How do you think spirits could make a sound with
I
no
don't
voice
know.
box?
I have no idea.
Mm,
And this is the thing, like everything, like the tapping. How do they tap without a
yeah,
body?
yeah.
How do they make equipment flash? I know
Mhm.
a cat ball doesn't move, so I believe that they just mess around with the sensor somehow.
Mm.
I'm sorry, like a lot cool cat balls, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone's got their own idea, but there's a little switch in there, and I think they managed to mess around with that somehow.
yeah.
I've got other sorts of equipment which doesn't work as it's designed to. You know, because just because it's developed a certain way, they use it how they see fit, don't they?
So with a cat ball, you should be able to have a dead one that doesn't work anymore, and they provide the energy and it goes off. In my mind,
Maybe.
you
Have you
know.
tried that?
No, not with cat balls. Don't really use cat balls much, but I always think anything without batteries, because I've heard in spiritual stories we had this toy, it went off. I took the batteries out, it still went off. I'm like,
I've
okay,
heard that. I've
I'm
not
like, all
witnessed
right.
it.
So let's bring things without batteries in, so people can't say,
Yeah,
it was just the battery doing. It's like you
yeah,
shouldn't have to. Allegedly, spirits are the energy. Okay, again, I'll make things harder because I want the better evidence rather than
yeah,
wishy
that's
washy.
right. But
You know.
evidence only for you.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
It is only
You
for
and the
me.
people around you.
Yeah. Like Spirit Box SB7 where it scans radios.
Yeah,
Why scan? If they can talk through some
yes,
white noise, have it
that's
not
it.
scanning, so we're not having radio. Make it hard.
Yeah, that's right. But the whole of what we do is so fascinating. But I'm going to have to go now anyway. But there's another show on things like 1:30. But
All
thank you
right,
so much for the chat. Sorry to everyone who watched at the beginning. I was choking.
you did well. You
I
got through
think
it.
I've got a chest infection trying to fight, but we managed to talk all the way through it. But thanks
Yes.
so much anyway. It's been
Thanks.
wonderful. It's been nice to have like a little debate, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we do find talking to each other quite easy. I think so. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, because we're not going to take offence if we've got a different
yeah,
opinion. And, we've all got different views. And it's great just to be able to chat and know that it's fine to have an opinion and,
yeah.
you know, just respect, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thanks for asking me on. Finally,
No, no, it's been very interesting, but thanks
Cheers,
so
Carla.
much. And thank you, everybody who's been watching. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
And thanks for all your comments. And what are you up to next? When's your next podcast? Or you've just
Um.
you've just put on about Are You Haunted, haven't you, on your channel?
Yeah, I've got a few more episodes of them waiting, and another investigator is taking over the editing. So
Ah,
last
excellent.
home Ouija board session is in her hands. So
Cool.
we're going to investigate properly at the first Saturday of every month this year,
Excellent.
and I'll be
Brilliant.
just dotting content in and when I like. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've got some good ones. Some new. It's always good to have a new location. So
Oh,
we've
it
got
is.
several
It
several
really
new
is. Yeah.
locations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But thanks
So
so much. And how do people find you?
White House Investigations on YouTube is the preferred method, um, because the Facebook page, kind of dead. I'm always on there,
Okay.
but I feel like I'm the only one. So
Yeah,
yeah,
got you.
I'm not. If
So,
you want to chat about anything, get me on Facebook. And yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
okay. So, thanks everyone for watching and look after yourselves, okay?
See you later.
And see you next week. Okay, then. Bye. See you. Bye.